In this episode of the Red and Gold Report, we're going to be updating you on all the most recent news out of Chiefs Kingdom. So, first up in Chiefs news. Now, the Kansas City Star recently did an article on former Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu, who is still a free agent. Now, they asked Tyrann how he felt after the Chiefs inked Houston safety Justin Reid to a big deal, which basically ensured that Tyrann would not be returning to the red and gold. Tyrann said that he was depressed, heartbroken. That was the word that he used, heartbroken, and he could not understand it. Now, this set off a firestorm of media pundits saying that the Chiefs were just plain being stupid for not bringing back Tyrann. I mean, Tyrann wanted to come back so bad. Why didn't they bring him back? Particularly because also in that same Kansas City Star report, it claimed that he would have taken the same $31 million deal that Justin Reid ultimately got with the Chiefs to come in and play safety, the same position that Tyrann was playing. Now, that would have been even a pay cut for Tyrann, and so a lot of media said, oh man, this guy wanted to be back, he's so good, why didn't the Chiefs bring him back? But hey, Chiefs fans, I want to assure you the Chiefs were not dumb in letting Tyrann walk. He was a good safety still last year, but he was definitely not elite. And you know what? We got to see the wrong end of his passionate personality when the defense really struggled early in the season. And you know what? He's going to be 30 at the start of next season. So while I was a big Tyrann fan during the Super Bowl push, and while sure the Justin Reid contract was far too high, you know what? The team was not wrong to move on from our former star safety in the Honey Badger. And you know what? If you need evidence, if you need some evidence, I want to direct you to exhibit number 1, the fact that he is still not signed by any of the other 31 teams in the National Football League, though the Rams and Saints are reportedly interested in Tyrann. But you know, another issue that I think people haven't noticed if you don't really watch film of the team, that is probably holding up his signing elsewhere is whether teams see him as a safety or really a slot corner. He actually played better in the slot corner position last year than at safety. And of course, slot corners make a lot less money than top safeties do. So that could really be complicating the situation and could be another reason why we don't see him signing with the team yet. But no, the Chiefs weren't stupid in not bringing back Tyrann, even though he wanted to return. In other news, the Chiefs signed no one during the 5th week of free agency. But don't worry, Chiefs Kingdom. This is often just how free agency goes. You know, free agency goes in phases. In week 1, you see those marquee free agents sign. In week 2, a lot of times you see the second tier guys that are still starters, but not marquee names. By weeks 3 and 4, it's mostly guys that are signing for depth, near league minimum. But now with the draft just 2 weeks away, teams often take a wait and see approach, waiting to see who is going to drop to them in the draft before they just keep spending money on free agents. The other thing that no one ever talks about that really is very important to teams is compensatory picks. The media never talks about this, but you better believe that general managers think about it every single day. And the team is probably continuing to wait to sign some guys at this point because of those compensatory picks. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, compensatory draft picks are awarded by the NFL for losing free agents. So if you're a team, you get the picks given to you, compensatory picks given to you, if you lost players in free agency the year before, the offseason before. And they have this formula. The NFL has this formula where they give you picks if you lose important free agents, but then if you were going to get given compensatory picks and you sign other teams' free agents, well, some of those picks might get given back, right? It's a whole formula of who gets what based on who you lose and who you bring in. But you know what? Interesting thing. If you wait to sign free agents until after the draft this year, until after May 10th, the players that you sign in free agency after that point, well, they don't count towards the compensatory pick formula. So we're at a point in the offseason where don't worry that the team isn't signing players. They're smart. They're wanting to wait. Why not wait till after the draft? And why not wait until we're not going to lose compensatory picks? So, yes, I know the Chiefs have been linked to free agents like corner Stephon Gilmore, who would be a great signing, but my guess is we're not going to see another significant signing until after the draft. Why lose the compensatory picks? Speaking of free agents, the Chiefs have still not signed a free agent at their biggest position of need, defensive end. Now, at this point, free agency is like your fridge. There's a reason that every one of the leftovers are still available, right? And for the most part, it's because they've been around too long. But I'd love to see the Chiefs still bring in players like, former Chiefs in defensive end Justin Houston or former Bills defensive end Jerry Hughes. I know both of those players are old enough to like go into football retirement homes, but it's still a glaring need that we've got to address. In related news, free agent defensive end Melvin Ingram visited the Miami Dolphins, who are apparently trying to collect as many former Chiefs as possible. He left unsigned, but Ingram is another defensive end that we should be looking at because you know what? We got to get a vet in here, and he did well last year. And hopefully by this time in the offseason, his asking price has come down. In other news, running back Derek Gore officially has signed his exclusive rights free agency tender. It's not a surprise, seeing as he can't go anywhere else when your exclusive rights free agent tendered. But I'm glad to have the guy back who actually was secretly our best running back for stretches of last year. And other Chiefs news, left tackle Orlando Brown has still not been signed to a contract extension. He currently is on the 1-year franchise tag deal, and rumors, of course, is that the Chiefs are still looking to sign him, are still working on a long-term deal. But I continue to think that a wait and see approach is exactly what the Chiefs should continue to do. Why not let him play out the tag? Yes, he's amazingly talented, has a ton of potential, but last year he was good, but not elite. So why not give it another year as he develops before you drop like $100 million on the guy, right? And wow, does anyone else think these contracts are getting in $100 million? Just saying, oh, $100 million casually. And finally, let's move on to the draft. The NFL draft is just 15 days away, and the Chiefs have 12. Yes, they have 12 draft picks. Now, I don't believe that they're going to draft 12 players, of course. I believe they're going to package some picks on trade deals to jump up and get a few better players at key positions like defensive end and possibly corner. But what do you think? How many trades do you expect the Chiefs to be making with the draft? What are your top 3 positions that you would like to see the Chiefs fill 2 weeks from now at the NFL draft? Leave that in the comments below. Let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to the Red and Gold Report on YouTube. Hit that little notification bell so you get all the latest Chiefs news brought to you weekly. Thanks for watching, and go Chiefs!